Welcome back to the Connect Network TV. I'm your girl, Stitches, and here with my fabulous co-host, Miss Wendy. Hey, Wendy.
How are you?
I am fantastic and I'm excited because joining us is none other than Dr. Karwanna Irving. So she is a wealth creation expert. She's an author, a transformational speaker, a business coach, all the things. Doc, we're so excited to have you dive into the wisdom that you are going to share with us. Welcome to the show, Doc. How are you?
Great to be here. Great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Yes,
joining. I got to
Doctor.
say, I love the necklace. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I'm trying to do a little something.
Yes, Dr. Karwanna.
Thank
So
you.
let's get right into it. So
Mhm.
excited to have you here with us today. And now you talk a lot about closing the wealth gaps,
Yes.
something so crucial in today's world. Can
Mhm.
you share with us what opportunities exist for closing these gaps and why is it such a game changer?
Absolutely. So I kind of specialize in government contracts, and not kind of, but I really do this thing, right? So, so for me, getting started in the government contracting space as a small business, especially a woman-owned, minority-owned small business, was very key to helping me actually create generational wealth for myself and my own family. I now empower other women and minority business owners on how to do this. So, for those who are new to the concept of doing business with the government, all it is doing business with a client who got pockets deep enough to pay you 100 times more than your regular client. And so that's really what it is. And so when it comes to wealth, the federal government alone in 2020 spent over $10 trillion on the very business products and services that everyone always sell right now. 26% of that is obligated and mandated to be spent with women owned and minority owned and just small businesses in general. So that's over $2.6 trillion annually. And that pot of money has grown continuously between 2020 and now, right? And so that's a lot of opportunities for those small businesses that are generating less than six figures, that are generating six figures. And those statistics are pretty big, right? Large. Statistically, out of the 33 million businesses that are across the US, 96% of the businesses that exist doesn't even make six figures. And so when I talk about closing the wealth gaps, I'm talking about positioning yourself to do business with the number one biggest player who already has money for you, and they're obligated to spend the money with you, which will help you become a part of the top 4 to 6 percentile of money earners as an entrepreneur. And so that will help you potentially close the wealth gaps in your family, in your community.
Doc, thank you so much for sharing this. I want to ask, who is this something anyone can really tap into, or is this a specific type of person or business that can really benefit from it most?
No, so this kind of works for everyone. When I first started in government contracting, I was doing video production and I was doing photography services. So, but this works for anyone that has a business. All you have to do is have a business. It works for home-based businesses. It works for catering businesses, for consulting, professional services, whatever type of business that you have, you are already qualified to do business with the government. In fact, the government, by definition, defines a small business as any company that has under 500 employees that generally generates less than $20 million a year for 5 years straight. So there's a lot of room for small businesses. So if you're making five figures a year, then you're definitely greater than a small business. You're like a micro business that really could use the leverage of this system. If you're making six figures, you can easily scale to seven or more. And so it works for you if you understand how to make it work for yourself.
That's incredible. Now, Dr. Karwana, we all want to know how much money is really on the table here, and what business did you transition to after leaving video production? And just to give people a
Yeah.
thought
Mhm.
process or idea as to what's really possible out there.
So I have clients that have never done government contracting before, that was stuck at five figures working over 50 hours a week, really hard, just like I was, when I first started, that are now securing multiple seven figures in government contracting for doing the exact same thing. Now they're not working harder, they're just working smarter and doing business with someone who actually values their work. And so after transitioning, like after I transition from, being the contractor, and I still do government contracts. I have some small contracts on the side that have sustained me throughout the pandemic, and I still do that. But I've also evolved into, I believe in each one teach one. I've evolved into a consulting firm where I'm showing other small businesses the very same blueprint that I use to significantly increase my revenues, and I'm showing them how to do it. And so this is what I love. The transformational work is what I love the most, empowering and impacting other businesses.
I love it. And I can definitely feel and see your passion for it as you're speaking about it. And you yourself, Doc, have an inspiring story. Let's talk about your path, if that's okay. What was that aha? Everyone usually has that aha moment that led you to this creation, this wealth creation journey, if you could share.
Several years ago, when I had a video production company, and I was just freelancing, and I discovered it through the first multi-billionaire that I had met. And he told me about government contracting, and I didn't know anything. First thing I thought was, can I do that? I didn't know you can sell to the government. I thought you had to be in military or be involved in weapons or something like that. And I discovered that you can sell to the government, even if you're just, point and clicking with a camera, which is what I was doing at the time. And before getting government contracting, I was really struggling as an entrepreneur. I was a part of that, that 96 percentile that makes less than six figures. I was only making about $30,000 a year, working 50-hour, 60-hour work weeks. And the first contract, after I figured it out, it took me a while to figure it out. But once I did, I secured a $70,000 contract for just 28 days of work. And then when I realized that that was a thing, because at first, I saw you say, wow, the first thing I said was, wow, is this real? Honestly, I didn't know that it was real. So I did it again, and I secured an additional contract of similar size, or two more contracts for similar size. And then I was able to grow my business that year to multiple six figures. And so for me, the aha moment was, this is a real thing. They don't teach us this in school. Everybody needs to know about it. And I call it the $1 trillion secret, because there are literally trillions of dollars that is out there that is untapped. And even still to this day, these government agencies that are obligated to spend, they have to spend their money down, and they're having problems finding qualified people who have their hands raised like, hey, I want to be in position to become a government contractor, because most people are just intimidated by the process or just don't know that it exists.
I know our viewers want to know this. What is your approach when it comes to guiding others towards wealth and success? And as for the government contracts, what's the first steps in working with you to get on to the $1 trillion secret?
Absolutely. I love helping small business entrepreneurs get pre-qualified for government contracts. That's the first step. Over the past few years, I've helped more than 300 entrepreneurs actually secure an additional 20 million in revenue and growing. And so I do this with a proven blueprint. It's a 4-step strategy, and that all starts with the business foundation. The business foundation is definitely key, because it's what validates you, and it's also what attracts government agencies to your business. Next, we have certifications. Certifications, I believe, is the key, to securing multiple contracts, because it's what sets you apart. It's how you leverage your socioeconomic disadvantages to participate in put pieces of that pie that is set aside for minority and women-owned businesses. And next, we have marketing. Understanding how to market yourself to the government and market your capabilities is also definitely going to be key. And then finally, I show them how to submit proposals. And these proposals must be not only compliant, but also demonstrate your ability to participate in such a lucrative opportunity that the government is asking you to participate in. And so every month I have a 5-day challenge where I walk people through that qualifications process so they understand what's on the table. And I do this through my GovCon challenge. If you go to govconchallenge.com, you'll learn more about that.
Thank you so much, Doc. I want to ask you something really quick, because you've been doing this for some time. What is one thing that you've would have wished that you've learned back then that you know now that you would share with our Connect fam?
I think that one of the biggest misconceptions in business is that it's going to take 2 to 5 years to grow a business. So if you go in, like we've all been told that if you have a business, this is like the common thing, right? That's absolutely a myth. If you go into business believing that, you will get what you believe because you're going to act upon that. And so for me, I went into business believing that. So not only did it take me 5 years, but it took me like 7 years to finally discover that all of that was a lie. And so I wish somebody would have told me, hey, instead of carving out Tiffany, who's married with children and makes a certain amount of money and live in a certain area or zip code as your avatar or your target market, go into business expecting to get the biggest dollar from the biggest payer, right? And so when you go into business doing government contracting, in your first year, you're highly profitable. It's not going to take you 2 to 5 years. So I wish someone would have told me that earlier, but even still, it was a part of the journey. Yeah, it was definitely a learning part, of the journey that makes it like so valuable for me to inform people where I can transform their lives so it won't take them as long as it took me.
I love it. And now look, you can tell our Connect fam so they can cut that part out of their time.
Yes.
So thank you. It worked out.
You're welcome.
So I know I'm ready. Our Connect fam are ready to sign up with you today. So where can everyone go? Tell us more. How can they hire you? And give us all the things, please. Where can they go?
So the first step is really to go to govconchallenge.com. This is where I walk you through getting pre-qualified. It's the first step to even securing me as your coach. We must get you on the page so you understand what's on the table for you, how much money you can actually secure in your first year, and what you need to do to qualify for all of that. So we get everybody on the same page. And then from there, you'll have the opportunity to work with me directly as your coach. So go to govconchallenge.com, get registered. It's going to be a powerful week of transformation. So just get ready, because there's going to be a whole shifting in your identity so you can understand who you are and know the value that you're bringing to the table. So that's just the first step. You can also check out my book, Don't Duck the Government, They've Got Your Money, because it's all about how you can make millions pitching and winning government contracts. And that is available as well on don'tduckthegovernmentbook.com. So for those who are interested in learning how to elevate your business, tap in for sure.
Karwanna, it's been an incredible joy having you with us today, and all the tips, all the great information that you've shared and that you've dropped. So thank you for sharing your insights and for the amazing work that you are doing. So one more time, please share with our viewers where they can find you and work with you.
So govconchallenge.com is where you will go to get yourself pre-qualified. Don't Duck the Government book.com is where you can get a copy of my book, but you can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Karwanna D Speaks. So that's where I'm available.
I gotta ask you this really quick. I'm so curious, because I really see and feel the passion that you have for this, Doc. What drives you? Even on a down day, what's your motivation?
I think my motivation is seeing transformation in people. I know what this has done for me, and I'm trying not to get emotional about it. So I know, especially for Black and brown, especially for women, can we just talk about women? I think it's so important for women to be financially independent and empowered, regardless if you have a boyfriend, if you're married, don't matter. We need to have our own millions. You know what I'm saying? So that's what drives me, being able to educate people and put them in a position to become first generation, 7-figure earners and beyond. And I think that's very key for me. My mission is to empower 1,000 women to secure $1 million. That's $1 billion in impact. And I want to do that. And I know I can within the next 12 months. And so you want to be a part of that mission? Look, I feel like I need to do that back. You want to be a part of that mission? GovConChallenge.com. Let's make it happen.
It sounds like we all need a Dr. Karwanna in our lives, right? Thanks again, Dr. Karwanna. It's been incredible having you on our show today. And for you, Connect family, don't go away. We will be right back.
People, it's Major, Mr. This is why I love you. And you are watching the Connect Network TV.
You're watching the Connect Network TV on the CW.